Story of the Reef is about 5 women who are just spearfishing, and they're like dive sisters. And they're all having a great time, but then unfortunately one of them was tragically killed in a domestic violence situation. And so the 4 others go off to do a commemorative paddle. They'll take the ashes and spread them, and there'll be a tribute. And so they're starting their kayaking trip, which is going to also be a dive thing, and not far into it, a very large shark comes along and starts stalking them. And so then it's up to them to pull together and somehow survive this horrible predator.
Well, it's really like a survival thriller. So it is that, we're following these 4 girls and they're going on this trip in memory of someone that they've all lost. And it really follows each of their different forms of grief and how they're dealing with that and trying to heal. And then there's a shark. I think what sets this apart from other shark films is that we are immediately drawn into what they're going through in this dramatic and real way. It's not just a shark film, it is a real story of that friendship, of love, and I think caring about those characters really changes where this story sits with people. We're following all this real drama as well as this huge threat of a shark, this great predator, and so it just sort of heightens everything.
It's a female empowerment movie. It's a film about friendship and sisterhood, and it's really about the power of girls banding together to overcome threat and overcome danger. So themically with The Reef Stalked, it's underpinned by a story of domestic violence. So it's not a sequel to The Reef as such where it's using same characters. It's really just another, almost like an anthology of the theme of sharks and humans and their interaction, and just a lot of good thrills and excitement.
Y tus trailers, visita mi canal.
Well, I guess you probably have to start out by calling it Beautiful Bowen. A few people call it Blowin' Bowen, but...
Blowin' Bowen. They do. They call it Blowin' Bowen. Classy.
We're really lucky. We have some really beautiful hike trails and things really close by to where we're staying. So I've been doing that and just being out in the beautiful sunshine and just, spending time on the beach has been really nice. Yeah, this is the first time I've been out here in regional Queensland. It is beautiful. Everyone that is on this project, we've all just been commenting on how it just feels like such a magical place, and there's something about waking up every morning and just looking out to the prettiest landscape, and just there's this beautiful calm here that you can't help but sort of take on with your day.
This is my first time in Bowen. I didn't even know it existed, and I'm so glad that I know now. It's gorgeous, and oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. Yeah, we have gone down to the markets, so we've been supporting the locals, and that was awesome. A few of the locals are working on the set, and they have market stands. So we've gone down and bought things from them.
The locals have been awesome. They seem really excited about this film and the fact that there's this, I think they love that it's a shark film too. So everyone's been really cool about it and asking questions. And
this is the first time I've been to Bowen, but I have been to regional Queensland years and years ago to Airlie Beach. But I really had no idea how beautiful this town was going to be, and I've really enjoyed waking up. Well, I mean, we've been waking up in the dark, but as soon as the sun does rise, it's been beautiful.
Yeah, this is the first time filming in Bowen and the wet Sundays, and you wake up and go, man, I'm living the dream a bit here.
I mean, look around. It's, being on location is one of the great gifts of, being a filmmaker, and, it is a really unique way to meet people and see things, because you see it, I think, through different eyes than you would do if you were just holidaying.
I'm coming back. I am. There are some really cool new opportunities, I think, now in the industry for women, and it's great to finally see them, you know, really owning their space and showing that they're just as capable as their male counterparts in these roles. And the women on this shoot have been amazing, and there's just something about that, you know, female empowerment and that energy when we're together. It's like electric in the mornings. Like, I love coming here and spending time with the women on this project. So that's, you know, in all departments, we're really, really lucky.
I think there's a lot to be said for a lot of the initiatives that have gone on to help promote females in the film industry.
Don't worry.
Because this is a women's story, it was really important for the producers and the director as males to populate the film with as many women as possible. And we've got a lot of women in varied roles, from camera department, 2 boom swingers in the sound department, a woman grip in the grips department, as well as usually traditional roles in the production office, makeup and the hair, costume. So we've tried to bring as many women in as many departments as we can.
It's been really nice seeing women in other positions that I don't normally see them in. Like, we've got amazing safety women who are doing like all the flips and stuff for us first, and they're so talented. Thank God for them, because we didn't have to do it 50,000 times before we shot it. We've got Caitlin, who is one of the arts department, and she's been in the water up to here the whole time and just an absolute boss. I feel like there's heaps of boss ladies on this set.
It's been incredible having so many women on set and having such a female-focused cast. And I'm really grateful for that, because everyone's been really supportive. And what I found super interesting that I didn't even think was going to be the case, like, women are really, really good at listening. And so even the crew members, I can see them listening really well and like responding really well, and there's this emotional intuition that is flowing through, and everyone's kind of lifted up together because of that. And I think while we're doing such heavy content and in being in those emotional states, having those women around you create such a supportive, fun environment that at the end of the day is going to create a really great film.
I think there are a lot of moments that I'm going to take away from this, but one that so far I've loved, and which is a big part of why I said yes to this film, is I've got to do a few stunts, and I get really excited by that, and also stunts in the water. It's just, that doesn't happen often when you audition for something. So doing that and working with the stunt team has been so good, and it's something that I can put on my resume and be proud of. Look, Mum, look what happened.
Yeah, I think for me what will be, or what has been most memorable throughout, has just been this feeling of everyone coming together. Like, specifically this group of girls, we've all kind of come onto this not knowing each other really, and we're very different, but there's something that has really made us kind of hold on to each other and realize that, you know, there's something so beautiful about realizing how much stronger you are together. And yeah, for me, this experience has just been about looking around and being so grateful for the people that are here, always lifting each other up and just really working towards something together.
My most memorable moment so far has been when we were filming a scene and Annie and the girls were looking out across the ocean, and behind set, because we were on the water, we see a stingray jump up out of the water and then down again. And it was like it was a flying stingray, and I just went, But then because we were in the middle of a shot, I had to also pretend like I didn't see this stingray just jump into the ocean. And so that was a moment that I had to really try to act like there wasn't anything there.
So I have a couple of memorable moments on this show. Like, there are lots, but there are 2 that stick out. One is a funny one where there's a moment in the movie where Jodie and Lisa are underwater, and then, you know, they've been diving and they pop up. So obviously we're just shooting the coming out of the water. So we're down there holding onto our sandbags so that we don't float up. And I think Kate had just been told that her hair gets in her face and to be careful about that. So whilst we're underwater, I can see Kate in slow-mo just doing this, just taking her hair away from her face. And so I'm wanting to laugh so bad underneath there, but I can't laugh because I'm holding my breath. So that's funny. Well, I found it funny at the time. And the other one was a really touching moment. So I was shooting the other day and it was the first time I'd put on my fins. And we were doing this swim and the camera was behind us, and it was myself and Teresa. So Nick and Jodie swimming. And Teresa had been in the water for a bit longer than me, and so she'd had on the fins for a bit longer, and she's worked out a few secrets how to navigate it, and she passed on those secrets to me. So at the end of this take, I was lagging a bit behind, and she did the most beautiful thing. So we were swimming, and just underwater, she just grabbed onto my arm and she just pulled me up. And I almost cried because it was such a generous moment. But obviously I couldn't cry. But it really, that was, I think I'll remember that.
I mean, I would describe Nick as someone who is very strong, and that's how she sees herself, but she's also dealing with a lot. And so there is that
sinuses are playing up.
Sort of, there's a bit of
down or something.
There is a little bit of like the PTSD sort of sticks around after losing someone very close to her, and we sort of see this struggle that she goes through of trying to still stay very present in her life, but the difficulty of that, and we see that throughout the film where it really has started to take an effect in all areas of her life, especially the things that she loves. I would say to Nick, there are things that I found very similar right from the moment of reading the script the first time ever, and I think that's why I was so excited when I got it, or when I got to read the script. It was this person that I've seen, we've all kind of had that moment, or I think a lot of people have, losing somebody and trying to, or knowing that you still have to keep going with things, the day to day, and just trying to find whatever it is that keeps you feeling grounded and here. And I really connected with that, with her, and I felt for her in those ways. When we first see her in her best place. I mean, she loves the water. Being out in the ocean is really what brings all these girls together. They love being out there, and it's just where they feel most free, and they've all got this sense of adventure. So we meet her really in her element and surrounded by family and love. And the more we follow her story, we see how she is with and without that. I think with Nick, her interaction with the theme of being stalked, I think that's in so many different levels as well. It is the very real one of how her sister was affected by it, and really seeing, the aftermath of that, having to deal with that, and really still going through and not really sure of how it's affected her. I think she doesn't know really, I think, the depth that it has. And once being out on the water and this shark showing up and the girls having to pull together, I think it doesn't really click for her that there are these similarities until she's in the motion of needing to take action, which is something that I've felt for her. She really feels that guilt, that deep sense of guilt that she wasn't there for her sister, and this is not going to be one of those times. So I think that theme of being stalked, there's a possibility to really let the fear take over. But I think particularly with this story, the girls coming together and really fighting through it together, there was something really beautiful in that.
Okay, so I play Lisa, and I'm one of the girls within the really tight girl group. We are huge diving fans, love being in the water, but I think Lisa's the one who also loves to have a cheeky cocktail after. So I think she's there doing all of that because she loves it, but also because she wants to have the after party.
Tequila? Ooh, party time.
And she's the lightness. She's the one that doesn't like any tension in the group when there's fighting, or not fighting, but when there's, you know, that those tense moments. She's the one that tries to break that and bring it all back to a really peaceful, bubbly place.
There you go.
So I think Lisa is really similar to me because I do love a cocktail, and I do tend to always want to bring that lightness to those heavy situations. It must make me feel uncomfortable, so I'm always trying to be like, but it's okay because, you know, it's only a shark trying to kill us. It's not like 2 sharks. Or is it 2 sharks? I'm just saying. So at the start of the film, we find Lisa in the most amazing headspace, the best kind of time of her life. She's with all of her girlfriends. They're diving. They're setting up this really big trip that they've been planning for quite some time. Very excited, and then things definitely take a turn. So it kind of goes from a really beautiful space to probably the worst situation possible. So Lisa had come from this really beautiful space and then had lost her friend due to domestic violence. And the metaphor from stalked is basically that animalistic human version and then the shark. And so it's got this double meaning in the film. That's where the stalked part comes in, because this shark doesn't want to leave them alone. Yes.
No.
Yes. I will give a quick thing. So, for our first table read, Andrew showed us basically it's this video on YouTube of a shark pursuing this guy on a kayak. So it happens.
Yes.
Fun, giggles.
Because it looks like a seal?
I don't know. I think it has to be something that it thinks that it's food, or it's just, there's got to be a reason. I don't think it's a random thing.
Maybe because they saw the legs dangling off the kayak and they... no, I don't know.
A hammerhead and a great white.
An orca and a great white. And a hammerhead. That's 3.
Great white and I'm going to say hammerhead because that's all that comes to mind. I don't know.
The great white. And I don't know my sharks. Do you know, I recently only heard of the lemon shark, but I hear they're very friendly, so they wouldn't attack a kayak. I don't know.
God.
Mr. Kayak.
I don't know.
I wonder whether his name or her name had kayak in there.
Well, if it's me, it'll be 0.
8, 10 kilometers an hour. No.
I'm going to say
Quitus trailers.
40.
Visita mi canal.
Record speed. I'm going to say I'm going to say 24 k's an hour. What is it? 100 k's per hour, 300 k's per hour, 900 k's per hour. Nah, don't know.
48 kilometres per hour. I looked that one up.
So if a kayak is 32, I'm going to say 80.
Kayak. Stand up.
Kayak.
Ah, I've only kayaked, so maybe I'll stand up paddle for fun.
5-star retreat.
Kayak.
Kayak adventure.
Oh, kayak adventure. Bali?
Skiing holiday.
At the moment, the Maldives have been looking amazing. So that. Oh, Bowen. I'm coming back. I am.
I don't know. Throw me anywhere.
Pamper by the pool.
Action and adventure.
Action and adventure.
Action and adventure.
Ooh. Both? Girls trip, then romantic getaway.
Girls trip.
It's a tough one. I'll say romantic getaway at the moment.
Oh, can I have both? Maybe not at the same time, or maybe, but yeah, I'd like both.
Scuba.
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 I've never scubaed. So, maybe now that I've snorkeled, maybe I'll scuba.
No. And don't plan on it. Don't ever want to. Ever.
Yes. Oh, tell you about it? Well, I didn't actually swim with it. I surfed above it. But it was only a little one and it turned out to be dead. There's a whole story here. Do you want me to tell you the story? So my only interaction with a real shark was when I was about 11 years old and I was doing a surf lesson with all these other kids, and I was in Bondi Beach in Sydney, and I was surfing on the wave very haphazardly on the whitewash, and then I see this thing kind of go past and I was like, it looks like a shark. And then I heard my dad's voice in my head, it's not a shark, so I made sure to convince myself there was no shark. And so I went back out there, and then I caught another wave, and I went over the shark and I saw it, and it rolled underneath. So I saw its belly and stuff, and I was like, well, if it rolled over, it must have been dead. And so I went and told the lifeguards, and they got the shark and they dug a hole and put it in Bondi Beach. So there's a small grey nurse shark dead in Bondi.
No. I don't know if I will.
No.